Hey there everyone, Video Game Cabinet here, and tonight we're doing a review on Celeste, which I played on the Nintendo Switch. Celeste is a famous indie darling that came out back in 2018, and I finally ran through the game this past week. I beat the base game, which was chapters 1 through 7, as well as the epilogue, chapter 8. There is a chapter 9 that was introduced as DLC from my understanding, as well as extra B-side stages, but I'm going to leave those to tackle another time. Celeste is a throwback to old school 2D platformers with extremely challenging parkour, a beautiful 8-bit aesthetic, and simple but precise controls. The story and setting center around a young girl who is climbing a mountain while battling depression and mental illness. Over the last few years, I heard a lot of praise about the themes and subjects brought up in Celeste, but I personally was not moved all that much by the story. From my understanding, persevering to climb the mountain was symbolic of the girl battling her inner demons. It was interesting, but nothing too extraordinary in my opinion. The dialogue snippets were brief, so it was really the gameplay segments that took up the vast majority of my playtime. And the gameplay here is very good. Celeste's tried and true style of gameplay is old school to be sure, but it's refined to a T. The controls feel tight and responsive, as they need to be for the perilous journey ahead. This was some of the most challenging platforming and parkour I've played in recent years, and I loved it. There's nothing revolutionary here, but it's well polished and it will put your platforming skills to the test. Your timing must be perfect. Things got especially challenging in Chapter 8, and it was a great accomplishment every time I would make it to the next screen. The graphics in Celeste are noteworthy for their minimalistic beauty. They almost look 8-bit, but that's part of the charm. And the soundtrack is beautiful, with a mix of atmospheric tunes ranging from somber piano melodies to upbeat chiptunes. I'm giving Celeste an 8.5 out of 10. It's an indie platformer with simple game mechanics, but they work well to challenge and sharpen your skills. The story didn't move me like I was expecting, but the themes were still interesting, and the music was very nice. I can see myself going back later to do some of the B-side levels and DLC chapter in the future. Yeah, so that's my review of Celeste, 8.5. I thought it was very good. I heard a lot about this game in the last 5 years since it came out, and I think it was digital download only, and then it came out on physical earlier this year, and so I finally picked it up and beat it this week. But yeah, I remember IGN gave it a 10 and GameStop gave it a 9. You know, I gave it an 8.5, but like, I think a lot of people were really moved by the story and the themes here, and like, it's good for a little indie game, but like, I didn't think it was that profound. I'll say like a lot of the things about depression and stuff. But as a bonus, I want to talk about some other indie titles that I've played from the last 10 years, just to compare and contrast how Celeste stacks up. Let me see. Earlier this year, I played Hollow Knight. This one I actually give this a 10 out of 10. This was an incredible Metroidvania with amazing boss battles, and this one, you know, by the final boss, I was like, yeah, this game is a 10. This is an indie title that, you know, that deserved it. And Hades, I got through all 10 endings last year, and this was really good too. I gave this a 9.5. This game was really deep, addicting, lots of fun. the Shantae games, I guess those are indie titles, or at least the sequels were. The Game Boy Color one came out initially as a physical release. But as far as indie titles from the past 10 years that we're talking about, the only Shantae sequels I've played are Shantae and the Pirate's Curse and Shantae and the Seven Sirens that later got physical releases here. These were really good. I would probably give these a 9 along with the original Shantae on Game Boy Color. I thought that they were equally good. But, what else? Yeah, another indie game that I played, Inside. This one was pretty good. I'd probably give Inside an 8. That was a really good game. I played this a few years ago. Limbo was the predecessor. That one was okay. I'd probably give that a 6.5. Okay/good, but nothing too crazy. The Inside, I think, was a lot better. And the other big indie title that I can think of that I played recently from the last 10 years, but this game sucks. This is absolutely one of the top 3 or so most overrated games I've ever played in my life, and that is Journey. This game, it's like 45 minutes. It's so minimalistic. I know it's an indie title, but Jesus, it's hardly a game at all. Like these other games here that I'm mentioning, they have substance to them. They have gameplay. This one, you're just floating around as a scarf, for like 30, 45 minutes, and then the game is done. I honestly, when I beat this a year or so ago, I gave it a 3.5. I thought this game sucked. It absolutely below a 5. I think it's a bad game. I think it's a very almost non-game. I'm not gonna give it a 1 out of 10 like Superman 64, but yeah, this I rated this a 3.5. I just thought it was just nothing, So, anyways, that's enough about that. Not to get off topic. Sticking with Celeste, yeah, as an indie title, this was very good. It's just yeah, 8.5. I thought it was very, very good. The story beats didn't hit me as hard as they hit other people, and it is very old school, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very, very challenging. I know it gets even more challenging with the DLC and the B-side levels that you can unlock. So eventually I might try going through that, but as is, beating the base game and the epilogue, I'm going to give this an 8.5. It is a strong title, and it's a lot of fun, and definitely recommended if you have a Nintendo Switch. But yeah, that's all for tonight. Have a good night.